A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, India and Pakistan have both accused each other of violating a ceasefire agreement just hours after it was announced following intense diplomatic negotiations led by the United States. The ceasefire was meant to quell the escalating violence that had resulted in missile strikes and drone attacks between the two nuclear-armed nations, particularly in the contested region of Kashmir. The agreement was seen as a hopeful step towards peace after weeks of rising tensions that followed a deadly attack on tourists in Kashmir, which India attributed to Pakistan-based militants. However, the situation quickly deteriorated as explosions were reported in major cities such as Srinagar and Jammu, raising concerns about the stability of the ceasefire. Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri held a press briefing in New Delhi, stating that there had been repeated violations of the ceasefire agreement, specifically blaming Pakistan for breaching the understanding. Misri emphasized that India would respond appropriately to any border intrusions. In contrast, Pakistan's foreign ministry countered these claims, asserting that their forces were committed to maintaining the ceasefire and accused India of initiating hostilities. The ceasefire agreement was initially celebrated by both nations, with Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif expressing hopes that it would lead to peaceful dialogue over long-standing disputes, particularly the contentious issue of Kashmir. However, the rapid escalation of violence following the agreement has left many questioning the durability of the truce. Residents in the affected areas reported hearing loud explosions and seeing flashes in the night sky, leading to widespread panic and confusion. Local officials expressed their dismay at the situation, with Omar Abdullah, a prominent political figure in Indian-administered Kashmir, questioning the effectiveness of the ceasefire and lamenting the loss of life that could have been avoided had the agreement been reached earlier. The conflict between India and Pakistan over Kashmir has a long and tumultuous history, marked by several wars and ongoing skirmishes since both nations gained independence from British rule in 1947. The recent hostilities were sparked by a tragic attack that claimed the lives of 26 civilians, primarily Indian tourists, in April. In a joint statement, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio noted that both countries had agreed to engage in talks on a variety of issues at a neutral location, signaling a potential avenue for diplomatic resolution. However, the immediate aftermath of the ceasefire announcement has been marred by violence, with both sides exchanging accusations and retaliatory strikes. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, as further escalation could have dire consequences for regional stability. Amidst the chaos, there are voices of hope among the civilian population yearning for peace. Citizens in Pakistan expressed relief at the ceasefire, with some likening the moment to a festive occasion. However, the reality on the ground remains tense, with many fearing that the cycle of violence may continue unless both governments take concrete steps towards dialogue and reconciliation. As the situation unfolds, the world watches closely, hoping for a resolution that can bring lasting peace to the region. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.